How far are establishment Republicans willing to go to keep Judge Roy Moore out of the Senate? A report at the New York Times indicates that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, RKY, may not seat Moore even if he wins the election. Moreover, Republican elites are trying to get the election pushed back. According to the New York Times, Republican senators and their advisors, in a flurry of phone calls, emails, and text messages, discussed fielding a write-in candidate, pushing Alabama's governor to delay the December 12 special election or even not seating Mr. Moore at all should he be elected. In an interview, Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, the majority leader, declined to say whether he would agree to seat Mr. Moore should he win. Mr. McConnell deferred a question about a possible write-in campaign by Senator Luther Strange, the current occupant of the seat, to Mr. Strange. McConnell, by the way, supported Strange during the primary. Axios noted. They've also weighed asking Alabama Governor Kay Ivey to delay the December 12 election to early next year. But she has already pushed it back once, after she assumed the role of governor in April when her predecessor was removed, and this option would likely inspire Moore and his team to file a lawsuit in court. The Times added. The Senate Republican campaign arm, which Mr. McConnell effectively oversees, withdrew Friday from a joint fundraising agreement with Mr. Moore's campaign. And Senators Mike Lee of Utah and Steve Daines of Montana rescinded their endorsements of the candidate. The frenzy reflected not just the worry over the Senate seat once held by Jeff Sessions, now the Attorney General, but also the broader danger of the Republican parties being associated with Mr. Moore. If Doug Jones, the Democratic nominee, wins next month, Mr. McConnell's majority will shrink to one, possibly imperiling the Republican push to overhaul the tax code and most everything else that lawmakers are aiming to do to reverse their spiral before the midterm elections. It could also raise at least the potential that Democrats could seize control of the Senate in 2018, by holding all of their endangered seats and winning Republican seats in Nevada and Arizona. Axios further said that if Moore wins, not only would Republicans be welcoming a child molesting suspect into their ranks, NYT writes, but all Republicans would have to answer for Moore's alleged behavior. And Republicans couldn't even count on Moore to support their legislation, given he's a Steve Bannon-backed candidate who feels he owes nothing to the GOP. Axios also explained that it's too late for Moore to be removed from the ballot, which probably explains the timing of the allegations by the Washington Post, which had already endorsed Doug Jones and failed to expose the links between one of the accuser and the Democrat candidate. The report also suggested that Republicans may pull a Murkowski, putting up a write-in candidate to defeat Moore, using the strategy Lisa Murkowski employed to defeat Joe Miller in Alaska. Some, including GOP Senator Lisa Murkowski, have suggested that incumbent Senator Luther Strange run a write-in campaign. Strange was defeated by Moore in the primary despite being endorsed by party leadership and President Trump. There is a precedent. Murkowski was elected as a write-in candidate in 2010. Such tactics, however, would only further anger many in the Republican base, which is already at odds with the GOP establishment. Let's not forget this is the same GOP establishment that wanted to see America handed over to Hillary Clinton and George Soros instead of Donald Trump. Writing at the Gateway Pundit, Christina Lila said. Republican swamp creatures such as Mitch McConnell are so afraid that Roy Moore will win the Alabama Senate seat that they are pulling out all the stops to block him. To hell with the voters. It sure seems that way. Meanwhile, Judge Moore has said there's more information to come out about the allegations, including possible collusion.